Hello, amazing parents and caretakers, and welcome to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. I'm your family empowerment coach, Celia Kibler. I'm a mom of a blended family of 5 kids. I'm a grandma of 9 kids, an author, a teacher, a speaker, and a consultant with over 40 years of training and real-life parenting experience. I'm here to offer you practical, doable tips, strategies, and techniques that will pump up your parenting skills and create peace, love, and laughter throughout your family. In addition, I'll be interviewing some great humans that are on a mission to make your life a better, happier, and healthier life. So let's not waste any time and get started with the next episode of the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. Thanks for listening. And now we're going to hear from Anupam. Anupam, are you ready? Thumbs up? Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Anupam. Other than the fact that he is the IT brains behind this summit, along with Czar. And Anupam, did you make that wonderful speaker video? I have to tell you, it's incredible. And I just love the verbiage in it. He is a visionary entrepreneur and strategist recognized for his innovative contributions in his field. He currently leads Anupam MindWorks Private Limited. Is that what PVT stands for? Private? A company dedicated to advancing mental health and wellness initiatives. Anupam's academic background includes studies at Amity University, where he honed his skills and knowledge, laying the foundation for his professional endeavors. His leadership at Anupam MindWorks reflects his commitment to integrating strategic thinking with a deep understanding of mental wellness, positioning the company at the forefront of the industry. Beyond his corporate role, Anupam is dedicated to fostering a culture of innovation and strategic growth, continually, I'm trying to talk, seeking to make meaningful contributions to his field. I didn't do that ending very well. Sorry, let's roll that footage.
Welcome to the International Day of Calm Summit.
Anupam, you're just scrolling. So his topic is great because we have a lot of distractions in the world of the internet, scrolling, like it, and as far as children go, there's so many negative effects. Anupam's going to talk about some of the great effects and what it means for calm. So welcome, Anupam.
Thank you so much, Celia. And is this how each and every one of us, well, majority one of us, start our day? Basically, just scrolling mindlessly and haven't even had our first, cup of coffee or even a deep breath. We're just mindlessly scrolling. So that's why today I chose this topic for all of us, how artificial intelligence and social media can be tools for calm. And Celia, in middle of my talk, I would also invite you because you're the subject matter expert here for parents, and also how we can integrate. How parents can actually parent their children much better in this world of social media.
Good. Okay. Sorry, I'm leaving now, and I'll come back.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Just let me share my screen. Would allow me a minute. Perfect. Super. So today we are going to explore how two of the most powerful forces in our life, number one, social media, and second, artificial intelligence, can either amplify anxiety or cultivate calm. Basically, we'll also understand if you're raising a children, or maybe basically in this world where artificial intelligence is taking over literally anything, we will basically learn today how you can calm down your anxiety, and how these tools can be used for shaping up your calm. Perfect. So we've seen this particular slide. Moving to next. We live in a world where attention is the currency. We don't pay for social media with money, but we pay for social media with our focus, our time, and our mental health. And these days, artificial intelligence, it has basically become the invisible DJs of our feed, basically spinning all the tracks, and it knows how to keep us dancing, even if we're dancing towards the burnout. So as I say, it's basically a slot machine in your pocket. Each and every scroll is a pull, and every like is a hit. And while we're being fed, we are being pulled apart emotionally, politically, and spiritually. Another reason for choosing this particular topic was during my MA in clinical psychology, I did a small experiment towards understanding how these social media channels basically work. So I made up a new account, probably a fake one, not to add any followers to it, just to understand how basically it can build echo chambers. So what are echo chambers? People, whatever you like on social media or whatever you're seeing, it just gets amplified back to you. So I just started following posts which were kind of depressing and anorexic, and each and every negative sentiment on the social media. I tried liking all of those, commenting on those. Now you won't believe, as I thought, the hypothesis was that each and everything that was being fed to me, it will amplify. And that's what actually happened. So as I was liking these depressing posts over that new account, it just started pushing me new depressing content. And just imagine how would a person who is actually depressed would feel if has anxiety or has anorexia, a serious disorder. It could cause serious problems. So that's why today we are here to understand how we can develop humane technology, and also like use it humanely. So moving forward, what is digital peace building? So earlier, like many people think, peace building uh, is like level negotiation. People in suits all around big tables, they do these peace building. But now these days, it's done through just hashtags, TikToks, and shared stories. What we're doing right now is also kind of digital peace building. I'll share more about that in later. So again, digital peace building is not just using technology for this talk, but to understand movements like hashtag Me Too and hashtag Black Lives Matter and other sorts of things. Empathy is viral. We just forget how to share it. Do you remember any video um, that showed you a dog rescuing another dog, or maybe a tweet of a stranger helping, offering something free to these people who were actually in a protest? So these are the moments when we learn that internet is internet has made us believe that humanity is back again. And also they perform well in engaging with them. We we are the teachers of these algorithms, and if we basically pause for kindness, comment on empathy, share with hope, these machines will learn. These are not just technology, they help shape the digital architecture. So yeah, artificial intelligence is basically portrayed like a Terminator type villain. But guess what? It can also be a therapist, a mediator, a friend. During my clinical psychology study, I also did a research on several topics where artificial intelligence is being used to train various chatbots who can help with mental health activities. And these days, they are kind of coming into play. Tools like WeBot, they offer mental health support, and AI content moderators remove hate speech, before we even post it. So you might have also seen when you post something hate on Instagram, it would just actually block you. That's done through AI. And many platforms that are doing sentiment analysis in detecting rising anger and just diffusing it. So moving forward to next, we're all the developers right now of culture. So the future of internet isn't being built in a lab. It is being built in every like, share, comment. You, me, we are right now even changing the past and like actually a new future. Are all the habits that we do right now, they train the algorithm. So basically, what we're doing as Day of Calm as well, we are changing the landscape. So let's talk a little bit about echo chambers. So what this is, have you ever noticed the feed that agrees with you all the time? Like you post something, your friends like it, your algorithm feeds into more of such posts. So like each and every post that you're seeing, it is kind of similar. And you just feel that, yes, it is so related to what you are thinking. It always sends you these posts which you think, like, yes, you were just thinking about it. So this is called an echo chamber. People, they are trapped into all of these downward spirals due to this kind of technology. It always creates a false sense of reality. You start thinking, how can anyone believe that? Believe any different thing other than that, because all you're fed is just one thing. So we're not users, we are experiments. When I say that, I have a small video to share with you where, in the attention economy, it's a big series, The Social Dilemma on Netflix. So I'll quickly share the trailer of that, and this would actually set the stage. And then moving forward, we'll talk with Celia on how, social media has a big effect on parent. There you go.
What I want people to know is that everything they're doing online is being watched, is being tracked, is being measured. Every single action you take is carefully monitored and recorded. Exactly what image you stop and look at, for how long you look at it. Oh yeah, seriously, for how long you look at it.
They know when people are lonely, they know when people are depressed, they know when people are looking at photos of your ex-romantic partners, they know what you're doing late at night, they know the entire thing.
Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, or what kind of neuroses you have, what your personality type is like.
They have more information about us than has ever been imagined in human history. It is unprecedented.
So this short clip reminds us how, social media can be actually a big downside for majority of, like the population out there. Now again, back to, the presentation. So your child is your child's first algorithm. It's you. Celia, would you agree with this situation, with this statement?
What statement did you say?
Your child's first algorithm, it's you.
Yes, that's a good statement.
Share the
Yep.
screen. Technical difficulties, as we say.
But we're still staying calm.
Always. Because it's the day of calm, final day. Perfect. There you go.
It's the actual International Day of Calm. Yes. Hopefully the world is a little calmer today. I don't know if it is.
Surely is. Perfect. So yeah, your child's first algorithm is you. So Celia, we'd love to get your insights on this particular topic. As you've seen in all these years technology growing, and now artificial intelligence coming into play, and all these thousands of parents that you've already helped in like shaping their parenting life. How has social media played a big role? Like, is it something that they worry about?
I think absolutely everybody worries about it. Um, there's a lot of blame going on for screens and video games and social media and all of that. And the truth is, yes, these things are built for addiction. They are built so that the dopamine never stops flowing and you just want more and more and more. But it is up to the parents to build structure, to build schedules, routines, to not give it too early. No child, no little baby or toddler should be looking at a screen, should be holding a phone in their hand. It is destroying their brain. And a lot of people don't believe it, but it is. This is a developing brain that its most impactful time is the first 5 years. And then it continues to grow for 25 years. So if the first 5 years you're putting those screens in front of your child's face, it is destroying areas of their brain. It's been proven, it's been tested. You are also causing a lot of their inability to stay focused, to stay on task. And I agree, and many people agree, that this basic epidemic of ADHD and ADD and even autism and the distractions and the irritability and the attitudes come from the overuse of screens. We had, Matthew's group come in and talk about nature. When we were kids, we didn't do anything but go outside. It was like, goodbye, go eat breakfast, go outside, come back at night. You better come back at night, but go, be outside. And now kids are hardly ever outside. The obesity epidemic started with all the video games because children just sat there and they ate mindlessly in front of a game or TV. I mean, TV was there, but the difference, the difference between, not that kids should be on TV all the time either, but the difference between a TV and a tablet or a phone and a screen like that is a TV is usually far from your face. You're not like right on top of it. A phone, you're like right here. And like the gamma voodoo rays are attacking your brain. Same with the tablet. And so there is a difference, but a kid shouldn't be living on a TV either. So it is up to parents to, number one, not give them these devices too early. Number two, don't give anybody social media before 14 to 16. And number three, once it is given, there are parameters around what you gave them. There's a schedule. I tell people, people know that my son is in the gaming industry. That is his career. He works for Santa Barbara. I always get that confused. One of those Santa cities. Santa Monica. I think it's Santa Monica. But he played video games his whole childhood. He's always loved video games. I never tore him up. His bachelor's degree is in video game design. He's always worked for video game companies, but he always had balance as a kid. He had to do his homework. He had to go outside. He had to eat. He had to do personal hygiene. He had to help around the house. There were things he had to do besides just play video games. There was a balance. There was a schedule. There was a structure. He was not just able to sit in his room and play video games from, 8 o'clock in the morning to, midnight. And now kids, they always have their phones with them. They don't sleep well. Sleep is a huge problem with kids. And if you let them have their phones, if they wake up in the middle of the night without a phone, they'll put themselves back to sleep. If they wake up in the middle of the night with a phone, they'll be on that phone.
You're
Did I go a
absolutely
little
right.
too far into a conversation on that one?
And the only thing that stuck with me here was, actually do not give mobile phones to kids until they're till 16, 17 age of years. Like me, myself, I got exposed to social media after 17 or 18 because technology, it wasn't, quite catching up at that time. And you as well, so we do have an understanding of the fake perception that, social media builds and the reality that we are living in. But how about these children? Like when actually we as parents, if we teach how to drive to children first, before giving them just a car, we should also have an open dialogue about how to use social media and what are the downsides of it. So another question for you, Celia, here would be how can, how kids growing up in this particular world, where the self-worth, it's often tied with all these likes, comments, and share. So how can parents help them, get their self-esteem back at home?
Well, first of all, like you say, social media should not be handed to a child at any early age. Teenager land is very hard. It's hard without social media. We have a lot of raging hormones going on where our teenage brain is built with three new little tidbits, little fun things for teenagers. It becomes wired for risk. That's why teenagers do dumb stuff. We all did. It is wired to be with their friends. So don't take it personally, parents. They just want to be with their friends more. That's how they're wired. Their brain is that way. And it is, and this is the biggest thing, it is wired for a need to belong. And if they don't feel like they belong in your home, they're going to find a place to belong. And the problem is on the internet, it's very judgmental. They go on the internet and they post something and they're not looking for like somebody to have conversation. They're looking to see how many likes they're getting. And they're placing their value, their personal value and self-image on how many likes they're getting, which is also based on an algorithm, which is not real.
You're right.
And so their value, that's why suicide is so out of control. Plus, suicide is also now an option. When we were kids, you never heard of somebody committing suicide, but if somebody did, it wasn't blasted to millions and millions of people. This kid committed suicide. This kid ended his life. This is what happened after this. Done. Jumped off. I just read somebody jumped out of a window. I can't remember who it was. A kid. It was like a 14-year-old walked past his parents, waved to them, and jumped out of like a 25-story up window and killed himself because he was being so severely bullied at school and on the internet. And he didn't want to take it anymore. And bullying becomes faceless. So all these things that we didn't know about then now is an option. Now, if you're not feeling good about yourself, you don't just see a doctor. You can kill yourself and end it all. Why? Because look, all these people have. I didn't know anybody that killed themselves. I think maybe one person. And bullying. When I was a kid, not that bullying never existed. It did. My sister, not Maddie, my other sister, she had a hate club against her in 6th grade, a hate club. Still lovely people even back then, but bullying had a face. If I bullied you, Anupam, I saw you. I saw your reaction. I saw what it felt to you by me bullying you. There are faceless bullies out there. All they're doing is bullying their screen. They're just writing some kind of horrible, obnoxious comment, and they're not thinking of the person reading it.
Absolutely. And I think human brain, it wasn't actually designed to have all these algorithms put so much content back to you. And what humans and have built all these algorithms, they are, kind of just messing around with people's brain these days.
It
So
is. And it's affecting their brains. Kids
And
are not as smart. Kids do not focus as well. They do not retain the information that they did when you and I grew. Even you, even though you're so much younger than me, even when you grew up.
right. And I think you gave this insight way, way back that till 6 or 7 years of age, whatever a child sees, they think that this is the reality.
Right, right. Children do not know the difference between fantasy and reality until they're about 7 years old. So if they're watching a video game of people killing people, they think it's real. I've shared before there was a little YouTube video about with The Rock and I think his then 3-year-old daughter. And she's sitting on his lap and they're watching Moana. And he is trying to convince his 3-year-old daughter that Maui is him. And he's singing along with Maui, and clearly the voice is the same. And he goes, "See, Daddy is Maui." And she looks at him like he's from Mars. And she's like, "Maui, Daddy." Because in her brain and in her eyes, that drawing, that dancing around, active little illustration is 100% real. So how can Daddy be that drawing? That drawing's real and Daddy's real. They do not know the difference.
No, definitely. And I think this has been paramount in having anger and rage issues once they grow up to, being adults. And similar thing, like talking about artificial intelligence now, shifting the topic from social media, is that like a lot of teachers, even at my mom's college, the one Kasturi Ram, I discussed with many teachers over there, and they said that earlier these students they at least used to think with their brains about these assignments. But since ChatGPT is now in the game, they just copy each and everything right from there, and we could see copied stuff. Even here is the answer for this. So that is just no mindfulness at all, and just giving yourself all in, and having your brain right up there.
And, it's like I just gave the world Stella, and people will say, well, Stella's AI. But Stella is AI, but she is based on my information. So I understand. I did not want to create something where they were getting a million opinions from a million people that I didn't agree with, that would tell them to do something that I'd be like, why are you doing that? Don't do that. Don't listen to that person. So I was only willing to make it if she could be controlled to pull from my information. And then I knew parents were getting constructive, productive, successful, solutions to their problems. And they could be kept safe. Their information could be kept safe. The problem with AI now, and they just did a study on this, is that children, exactly what your mom said, and the college professors have recognized, is they're no longer even thinking for themselves. They'll think of something, and instead of forming their own opinion, even if they're talking to someone else, they will check it on AI and bring up ChatGPT. Okay, I want to say blah, 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 blah. I'll put it in ChatGPT and let me see how that says it better. So they're not even, so it is indirectly hurting their confidence, which people don't even think about. Like, oh, how's it her confidence? Hurts confidence if they no longer can trust and believe in themselves.
And when you're talking about having Stella have the AI capabilities, but I'll just say here that you are right now the change maker. Our Stella is gonna be the change maker because this is humane technology. All that we talked about, this is inhumane because all these algorithms they blast all these reels ad for their own personal benefits. The amount of money collected in these particular companies, it's so enormous that no ever entity in the world has ever collected. Facebook and all these organizations which deal into meta into social media, they have enormous amounts of money, power, because they hold each and everything. So here, what we are doing with Stella, our Stella, it's AI for good. So we are helping each and every
Right.
parent right there. So again, congratulations today on launching
Thank you.
this.
Thank you. It is. It is for the. I mean, because you even think about if you're a parent, say you want to, Chris had a wonderful discussion about controlling tantrums, but say you wanted you're like my 3-year-old throws 15 tantrums a day. I can't deal with it. What can I do? Look up tantrums on the internet, and it will feed you 9 million results, pages and pages and pages of people whose opinion is how you resolve a tantrum. And then you then spend hours and hours and hours sorting through or saying, okay, I'm going to take this person's advice. And then 2 days later, you're like, well, that didn't work. And then you take someone else's advice. Next day, that didn't work. And how come nothing works is also because you learn through this overabundance of information that you don't even have the ability to stay consistent with any one thing because you're not even sure that one thing is worth staying consistent for. Oh, Cherie said, sadly, the logarithm is stealing our kids' cognitive ability to connect with others authentically, but one more, sadly, with themselves. Yes. Amen. This is a good discussion. If I do say so myself, because I didn't realize we were going to talk about this, but I'm glad, Anupam.
No, definitely. And to all the parents watching this particular session, I really hope if you have Android device, please download Ask Stella and give us your review.
Yes, and give reviews. Just
and
like that you saw in the video, I will say that was Stella's mommy doing that. Her real mommy. Stella's my granddaughter. But it's a catchy name, isn't it? Ask Stella. And the little penguins, Czar made them. They're super cute. We're going to come out with like little penguin things.
thank you, Zar, for having a cute logo out there. And to all the parents, please download the app. It's currently on just the Play Store, but coming soon on App Store
Yeah, it
as well.
should be on Apple. I'm hopeful. We're just waiting for Apple to accept it. And, they're prima donnas. I mean, I have one, but you have to be worthy. But hopefully it'll be not too long. The developer thinks it should just be, maybe a week, or I hope. Cross reference works.
Definitely. So as we're ending the topic here and also our discussion, the final question that I wanted to ask you that I've just written down, it is like, if you have to give just one rule, one digital golden rule for families in this AI and social media era, what would that be?
Okay, the rule's going to be kind of like a paragraph, but it's
Yeah.
all related. Make sure that, I'm not in your home and I'm not here to say, okay, call me if you're going to give your kid a phone, or anything. Make sure you have a schedule around their usage. Number one, this kind of a multi-part reply. Set a schedule around their usage and sit down, just like CL said, I'm all about family unity, have a family meeting and sit down and talk about that.
Right.
Let them say, if they're like, you can use your phone or your tablet from 4:30 to 5 when dinner's ready, or 5:30. You can have that, or you can sit down with them and they might say, you know what, I'd really like to use my tablet as soon as I get home from school. Can I do that? And then do my homework after. Get their input. Because if they put their input into a schedule and into guidelines and consequences, they're much more likely to follow them. That's number one. Have a schedule. Make sure everything, just like I told you with Kyle, when he was little, he still had to do homework. He still had to go outside. He still had to do his responsibilities. He still had to eat. He still had to sleep. Do not, do not, do not, do not, do not, do not, do not. And if I didn't say it, do not let your children go to bed with their phone. The second you hand them a phone, make that clear. You will not be going to bed with your phone. So if they're like, no, I don't want to do that, then no phone. Help your children understand that this thing is a privilege. It is not a right. You do not have a right to have a phone. You don't have to have a phone. Millions of old humans like me roamed the earth that never had phones growing up. None of my kids had phones. I did have like the first cell phone. I should have brought it. It was like a bag phone, a bag phone and a pager. That was my communication to make sure my kids were safe. And that was when my daughter, who is now 42, was in junior high school, or middle school, whatever they call it now. Should kids go to bed with Matthew? Good question. Let me clarify. Laughter is best medicine. I love comedy. No. No, they should not go to bed with a phone. Plus, you know how much you hear about like a phone gets stuck under a pillow and then it like lights on fire. Let's not burn your kids' heads off. There should be somewhere that phone goes. So, make that strife. And as soon as you hand your child a phone, there are rules. There are boundaries. There are limits. And if they don't agree, no phone. It's really simple. Okay, you can get this phone. And if you have this phone, this is what's happening with the phone. You get to use it an hour a day. You get to use it a couple hours on the weekend. You do not get to live with it. You do not get to sleep with it. It is not your right to have it. It is a privilege that can be taken away if necessary. I have a great phone bank system as part of my parenting playbooks. If you donate, what did I say? $5, $10? I don't know. Donate $10. Let's make it 10. Donate more.
Yeah.
And then Matthew's going to double it. So donate $10. I will give you all 3 parenting playbooks. And in one of them is the phone bank. It is a way for your screen bank. It is a way for your child's screen usage to be controlled, but also giving them the opportunity to earn screen time. Okay. So make sure you're in control of it. Your children are not in control. You are. If you go to chapter 11 or 7 in my book, Raising Happy Toddlers, How to Build Great Parenting Skills and Stop Yelling at your kids, selfless advertising. It's a manual. You go in there, there's a chapter called Who's in Charge Here? And on the next line in capital letters, it says you are, not your child. And I was actually going to end the chapter there and go to the next chapter, but you'll see after you are, it says, I was going to end this chapter here, but I decided since you bought the book, you probably want to know more information. So all of these screens that you're giving your kids under your control. One and done. Give you a quick little golden tip. You tell your child, turn off the screen, please. It's time to come to dinner. They don't keep asking them. Turn off your tablet. It's time to come to dinner. You come back 5 minutes later, still on their tablet. Guess what? Unplug it and take it. Now it's gone. Done. You didn't have to yell. You didn't have to get upset. Issue over. I get a little passionate about this. Anyway, back to screen. The other option is there are some great phones out there that limit the ability for those phones to have access to the internet. If you're thinking, I just want my kid to have a phone so they can call me, because we don't have pay phones and public phones anymore. Like, where did those go? Away. Do you know what those are, Anupam? They were like phones on the street that you put 10 cents in and you made a phone call. We don't have them anymore. But so if you want, so get a flip phone, although they're really nice flip phones, but you can get flip phones that are just things, or get them one of those phones, like I think it's called Bark. I always tell my clients, and I can't remember what it's called. It's Bark, maybe Bark. But anyway, it's a great phone and it limits their access to things, and it gives a lot of parental guidance. You can monitor their usage, stuff like that. But always remember that phone, that screen, that tablet, that TV, anything like that is a privilege. It is not and never will be a right.
Absolutely.
Was that kind of an elaborate one thing answer?
Pretty amazing answer as well. And as we talk about it, like here, we're in the part of Delhi that we live. It is kind of the outskirts. So we do see people and children here who are not exposed to all these screens. You see them, they are happy in just small things. They would just kick a stone and then they're like, hey, that's so fun.
Right.
Pick a
Normal
flower.
kid happiness.
Yeah. They'd pick up flower from a farm and be like, oh, that's so good. And the other people, like the modern families, you see sitting in restaurants, they always have these screens like right
Right.
up in.
They're all on screens, which
Absolutely.
divides a family, doesn't unite a family. And so another important fact to that is that you need to role model good phone behavior. If you are always on your phone, when your children get a phone, they too will be always on the phone. You should have phone um, times during the day where there are no phones, and that means yours too. Like dinner time when you should all be eating together, have a basket and all electronics go in that basket, including yours. You have to be the role model. You have to show moderation in screen usage.
Oh, absolutely. Again, thank you so much for these insights, Celia. And thank you so much for starting Day of Calm, first of all, because we
Thank you,
together
Anupam.
are the change makers. And all these panelists here, Matthew, Ernly, CL, and Sherry, thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. If this episode was helpful to you, please share it with a friend and leave us a review that will help others. Wonder why kids don't come with a manual? Well, wonder no more, because I wrote you one, and it's just won a wonderful Mom's Choice Award. Go to celiasbooks.com and buy your copy of Raising Happy Toddlers, as well as my children's books. I appreciate you being part of my mission to help 10 million parents stop yelling at their kids. Please be intentional and hug on those kids of yours. See you at the next episode.